Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United step up the chase for Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz is rated at £60 million. Florian Wirtz is Ralph Rangnick's #1 target for the January transfer window. Rangnick is targeting 4 German wonder kids. But Florian Wirtz, he's at Bayer Leverkusen. He's been at Bayer Leverkusen since January 2020. He's got a contract with Bayer Leverkusen until 2026. He's an attacking midfielder. You know, he is very, very young. He's only the age of 18. He's made around 50 appearances in the Bundesliga for Bayer Leverkusen and he scored around 11 goals. Now, I want to give you some news on Julian Alvarez. So Manchester United are in negotiations with River Plate for Julian Alvarez. Manchester United have already spoke to the club and the player's agent. Talks are ongoing. Julian Alvarez could be the first signing of the Ralph Rangnick era. Julian Alvarez has a £17 million release clause. He's been at River Plate for a lot of years. There's a lot of other players that Man United want. Obviously, you know the news on Erling Haaland. Reports have said that Man United are ready to trigger Erling Haaland's release clause. Erling Haaland has a release clause of £65 million, but it doesn't become active until the summer. Revert back to the other week, Bild said that Man United are currently only the serious bidder for Erling Haaland. Not so long ago, Rangnick spoke with Erling Haaland's father, Alf Haaland, over the possibility of his son making a move to Manchester United next year. But Rangnick wants Erling Haaland at Manchester United. Haaland is regarded as one of the best strikers in the world. You know, he's a prolific goal scorer. He's been an absolute revelation for Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund got Haaland from Red Bull Salzburg. Dortmund paid around 17.1 million. He's got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2024. Don't forget, Haaland played at Molde at one point under Solskjaer. Manchester United tried to get Haaland under Solskjaer. Boubacar Kamara has also been linked with Manchester United. He said recently that Boubacar Kamara's contract talks with Marseille have stalled. Was it last week? It said Manchester United agreed terms on a £10 million deal to sign Boubacar Kamara. and it did mention that he would have been announced in the coming days. Kamara has been at Marseille all his life. He joined Marseille as a 5-year-old back in 2005, so raising up their academy. You know, he broke into Marseille's senior squad back in 2016. He's gone on to make over 100 appearances. His current contract at Marseille expires at the end of the season. Boubacar Kamara is predominantly a defensive midfielder, but he can also be deployed as a centre-half. He's only the age of 22. Amadou Haidara, he's also linked with Man United. Earlier on in the season, Rangnick said that he wants Amadou Haidara as his first signing as Man United manager. Obviously, Rangnick knows the player well because Rangnick used to manage RB Leipzig. Amadou Haidara has a 33 million release clause. And the other week, Haidara did admit that he's a Manchester United fan and a Cristiano Ronaldo fan. Amadou Haidara's got a contract with Leipzig until 2025. Rudiger's been linked to a Man United as well from Chelsea, and Frankie de Jong has also been linked with Man United. Rangnick has identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. Rangnick has been given £75 million to spend in January. Well, it actually said earlier on in the season he'd been given £100 million to spend. But in January, Rangnick will be focusing more on the outgoings than the incomings, because Fabrizio Romano's already mentioned that Man United's main focus on new signings is in the summer, not January. I think Man United will make one signing in January, maybe two. Man United are going to offload quite a few players next year. You know the news on Anthony Martial. Sevilla have reached an agreement in principle to sign Anthony Martial, but it did mention that Martial's wages are a stumbling block for Sevilla. Martial receives around £240,000 a week at Manchester United. There's been quite a few clubs in for Martial, not only Sevilla. Obviously Barcelona have been in for him. It said that Juventus wanted Martial on loan. Arsenal have inquired about him. Not so long ago it said Newcastle wanted Martial on loan. And it said Newcastle were ready to pay a £6 million loan fee to sign Martial. The other week, he said Atletico Madrid were planning a swap deal for Martial. Few weeks ago, Anthony Martial's agent confirmed that Martial wants to leave Man United in January. Obviously, Martial is demanding more game time. He's not getting nowhere near enough game time at Man United. Man United did set a 30 million asking price on Martial. On Wednesday, Martial held talks with Ralph Rangnick over his future. Martial was pretty good last season, but the best season he enjoyed at Man United was his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial's been at Manchester United for 6.5 years. He's got 2.5 years left on his contract. Martial has scored 79 goals in 268 games in all competitions. Man United paid an initial fee of 36 million for Martial back in 2015. Edinson Cavani, he'll leave Manchester United next year. If he doesn't leave next month, he will leave in the summer. Now, it said not so long ago that Edinson Cavani has agreed to join Barcelona on an 18-month contract. Obviously, Barcelona are seeing Edinson Cavani as a replacement for Aguero. Aguero recently retired due to heart problems. By the way, Barcelona have signed Ferran Torres from Man City. Juventus have also been in for Cavani, and not so long ago Cavani rejected a move to Boca Juniors. Should Man United let Cavani go next year? Because Cavani has made an impact since he come to Man United, but Cavani initially lost his place in the team with the club re-signing Ronaldo last summer. Cavani is now back from injury. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG. Not only that, he was a long-serving player when he was at PSG. Juan Mata, I think we're going to offload him next year. Mata's contract at Man United expires in the summer because revert back to earlier on in the year. Juan Mata signed a 1-year contract extension. I can't understand why we extended his contract for a further year because he doesn't really get in the team. Plus he's ageing up and he's lost that yard of pace. But despite that, Mata's had a good career at Man United. You know, Mata has made over 200 appearances in all competitions and he's scored over 50 goals. And Juan Mata's been at Manchester United for 8 years, so he's been a long-serving player. We got him from Chelsea back in 2014 for 40 million. We brought Mata in under the David Moyes era. Jesse Lingard, he will leave in the summer. Because was it last week it said Lingard will stay at Manchester United in January to fight for his place under Ralph Rangnick. Lingard obviously wanted to leave Man United under Solskjaer. Man United did set a £20 million asking price on Lingard, you know, for him to leave next month. Newcastle are no longer in now for Lingard. West Ham want to re-sign Lingard. At the second half of last season, Lingard endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. And earlier on this season, I heard that Lingard wanted to go abroad. You know, Lingard doesn't really get in our team, does he? But he has been part of Manchester United for a long time. He risen up our academy in that. Lingard's contract at Man United expires in the summer. Nemanja Matic, I think he's also leaving next year. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he's still being given his opportunities. Matic is the only predominant centre defensive midfielder that Manchester United have got. I've always had my strong reservations about Matic because he's always been a static midfielder in his aging up. But he has had his good games at United. Man United got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017 for £40 million. Donny van der Beek, I think he'll leave in the summer. Van der Beek's not allowed to leave in January as Van der Beek is valued by Ralph Rangnick. I'd just like to see Donny van der Beek get more starts at Manchester United. He's not getting enough starts, is he? I expected Van der Beek to play a hell of a lot more than he has done. Let's put into the equation what Man United paid for him. We got Van der Beek in a deal worth 40 million with add-ons included. You know, he's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. But revert back to when we had Solskjaer, Van der Beek was very frustrated. Van der Beek actually said towards the end of Solskjaer's managerial tenure that he wants to leave Man United in January. Van der Beek's been at Man United for over a year and a half, and he's only scored 2 goals. Paul Pogba, he'll probably leave in the summer. Because it's recently said that Man United are not negotiating a Paul Pogba transfer next month, so Man United expect Paul Pogba to stay in January, despite him nearing the end of his contract. Pogba's contract at Man United expires in the summer. Revert back to the start of the season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Not so long ago, Rangnick did mention though that he won't try to convince Paul Pogba to stay at Man United if he wants to go. By the way, Pogba's very close to returning. That's good news from Man United perspective. He's been a big miss, you know. Pogba's been out with a muscle injury. He got the muscle injury in France training earlier on in the season. Paul Pogba is Manchester United's most expensive signing. Man United paid £89 million for him. And this season's his 6th season at Man United since he rejoined, and Pogba's won 3 trophies at the club so far. We had him when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. I think Jones and Bailly are leaving next year. Tellez could leave next year. Dean Henderson, I think he's leaving in January, because last week Fabrizio Romano said that Dean Henderson wants to leave Man United in January to get more game time. Henderson doesn't really get in goal because last summer De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. Henderson has only made 2 appearances this season. Earlier on the season though, Henderson was out with COVID for a while. Towards the end of last season though, Henderson got that number 1 jersey, and he did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. Plus Henderson's got that experience behind him. He endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield. He's had other loan spells before with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury, and before the start of last season, Henderson committed his future to Man United because he signed a 5-year contract with an option of a 6th year. And I think Man United are loaning Amad Diallo out next year as well. But Rangnick, he's enjoyed a good start to his managerial career at Manchester United. You know, so far Rangnick's unbeaten. Reflecting on the win against Norwich on the 11th of December, that was back-to-back wins in the Premier League for Rangnick. Rangnick is Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then it did mention Rangnick will continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. But not so long ago, Rangnick was warned he could lose the consultancy role if he fails to get Man United into the Champions League. But if Rangnick does well as the interim manager, there is a chance he'll get the Man United job on a permanent basis. Not so long ago, Manchester United confirmed the appointment of Ewan Sharp as an assistant coach and analyst. You know, we got Ewan Sharp from Lokomotiv Moscow. You know, before he worked at Toronto FC, and he also worked at New York Red Bulls. And Ewan Sharp knows Rangnick well because he's worked with him before, and he knows Chris Armas well because he's worked with him twice before. Obviously, Ewan Sharp's Rangnick's 3rd edition, because earlier on in the season, Rangnick brought Chris Armas in as an assistant. and he also brought Sascha Lenz in as a sports psychologist. Before Man United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. In the summer, Manchester United will get a permanent manager. Man United are looking for their 5th permanent manager since Ferguson, because Man United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. Man United sacked David Moyes after 10 months. Man United finished 7th under the David Moyes era. Then Manchester United sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite us winning the FA Cup under Van Gaal. Then Man United sacked Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season. And over a month ago, Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Solskjaer was Manchester United manager for almost 3 years. He officially got sacked after the 4-1 defeat to Watford. But Manchester United have not been the same team since Ferguson retired, and we've just got to accept that no one's going to replicate what Ferguson did at the club. Ferguson's the greatest manager of all time. Alex Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30-odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. But there again, Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Good job he didn't get sacked any time in the 4 years he didn't win anything, or we wouldn't have had any success now. Alex Ferguson was at Manchester United for 26 years, so reflecting on that, he was a very long-serving manager. Now, Manchester United do play Newcastle tomorrow night at St James's Park. Man United are looking to make it 4 wins in a row in the Premier League. Rangnick confirmed in his press conference building up to this game that around 25 players are available. So more or less everyone's fit. Not so long ago, Man United's players returned to training at Carrington after the COVID-19 outbreak. Manchester United have had the last 2 games postponed because of positive COVID tests. The games against Brighton got postponed and the game against Brentford got postponed. So the last game Manchester United played was Norwich on the 11th of December, and Manchester United won 1-0. Cristiano Ronaldo scored the winning goal from the penalty. Ronaldo now has 13 goals in all competitions since he re-signed, and he's got 802 goals in his career. Man United are sitting 6th in the Premier League, is it, at the moment? But I am expecting Manchester United to beat Newcastle. Newcastle are a very poor team. I can assure that Newcastle will get relegated this season. Newcastle are coming into this game on the back of a 4-0 defeat to Man City. Newcastle's manager is Eddie Howe. Newcastle appointed Eddie Howe in earlier on in the season to replace Steve Bruce. When Eddie Howe got appointed in, he signed a 2.5-year contract with Newcastle. Before Newcastle, Eddie Howe managed Bournemouth. He was at Bournemouth for a long time, and he also had a spell at Burnley. So earlier on in the season, Newcastle sacked Steve Bruce, and before Steve Bruce, they had Rafa Benitez. Rafa Benitez resigned at Newcastle because he didn't get enough backing, and a lot of Newcastle fans were disappointed when he resigned because, to be fair, Newcastle were actually quite consistent under Rafa Benitez. I do know quite a few of the players that Newcastle have got. Obviously they have got Dwight Gale, they've got Joe Linton, their attacking players. They've also got Callum Wilson. Now Callum Wilson is good. Callum Wilson's a former Bournemouth player. Newcastle have also got Alain Saint-Maximin. Saint-Maximin's probably the best player. He just come back from injury not so long ago. They've also got Ryan Fraser. He's a former Bournemouth player. Newcastle have also got Jacob Murphy and Elliot Anderson, their midfielders. They've also got Sean Longstaff. Sean Longstaff's a decent midfielder. Sean Longstaff is brothers with Matty Longstaff. Matty Longstaff is not at Newcastle at the moment. He's out on loan with Aberdeen. They've also got Isaac Hayden. Now, Isaac Hayden is suspended for this game tomorrow. That's bad news from a Newcastle perspective. Newcastle have also got John Joe Shelvey. Now, he's been out with injury. Shelvey's a key player for Newcastle. Shelvey is a former Liverpool and Swansea player. Newcastle have also got Jamal Lascelles, he's a decent player. They've also got Matt Ritchie and Kieran Clark. They've also got Joseph Willock, I think they got him from Arsenal. They've also got Manquillo, he's been out with illness. They've got Jamal Lewis. They've got Jamal Lewis from Norwich, he's been out with injury. Federico Fernandez have also got him, he's been out with injury. Newcastle have also got Paul Dummett. He's also been out with injury. They've also got Almiron as well. He's good. So there you go. And the keepers Newcastle have got, they've obviously got Carl Darlow, and they've got another goalkeeper called Dubravka. Manchester United have got a very good record against Newcastle though. Man United seldom lose to Newcastle. Man United won the fixture at St James's Park last season 4-1, and Man United beat Newcastle at Old Trafford earlier on this season 4-1. That was the game when Ronaldo scored twice on his second debut. I'm shocked of how bad Newcastle have done, because, back in October, don't forget, Newcastle had that £300 million takeover by the Saudi Arabians. And reflecting on that, Newcastle are planning to invest heavily next year. But what player's going to want to go to a club in the relegation zone? Before the Saudi Arabians, Newcastle had Mike Ashley. Mike Ashley ruined Newcastle. He was Newcastle's owner for around 13 years. Mike Ashley got heavily criticised. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you with. By the way, I wish you a Merry Christmas from yesterday. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very soon.